morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture. It's just incidents in pop culture, so we can see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. Y'all, it is birthday weekend for me, and I am excited. Birthday is tomorrow. So you will be seeing this video the day before my birthday. It will upload the day before my birthday. What time? So if you all want to wish me a happy birthday, please leave me a happy birthday, Pamela, down in the comments. So also, please like and subscribe to this channel. I am at 104 subscribers. Thank you all so much for subscribing to this channel. Please tell a friend, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell them people you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, okay? Help me help you to see me, okay? Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I do a video. I do a video usually once a week. I will add an extra video. That's my What's Up series. If there's something going on in this news cycle that I want to talk about, there are some things in the news cycle that I want to talk about, but that's going to be on another video. Let's get to this video. Let me see what's going on here. So many things to do, so little time to do it. I'm gonna need me child, I'm about gonna need me a producer. All this stuff requires someone to produce. Excuse me. All right, so here we are for Atlanta, season 4, episode 3, entitled Born to Die. Now, this episode wasn't that long, so I am just going to go over quickly what happened. As we open up, we see Paperboy is performing at a bar mitzvah. Because you remember last season he did his big tour overseas. I am unsure as to why they did not do a tour here, but that's nonetheless. But so now what's happening, and I guess because Paperboy's popularity is waning, he is now performing. People are spending money for him to perform at bar mitzvahs and stuff like that, and he recognizes that he is going to make a bulk of his money performing. What happens is the little boy Benny, whose bar mitzvah he was performing at, his father came around and he was very impressed with Paperboy and wanted to know how he did what he did. And basically, he was asking Paperboy, how did you get your swag? And, Paperboy looked at him and he was like, because there's nothing that you really can teach or explain. You either have it or you don't. But he wants, Benny's father wants Paperboy to teach Benny how to do all of that. And told Paperboy that he'd pay him $1 million. So he's not going to, Paperboy ain't finna turn down no money. And so I'm just going to talk about, because we only saw Paperboy and Earn. So I'm going to do Paperboy's arc, and then I'm going to do Earn's. So Paperboy has been hired to work with Benny, and he goes to the studio, and there are two guys there. You have Yodel, I think it's Yodel Kid, Yodel Boy in the studio. He's yodeling and all this other stuff. And they're all white boys. Let's be very clear. They're all white boys. And so there is a third boy that comes in, and he is escorted by a black man named Bunk. Bunk and Paperboy get to talking, and they keep talking about how they're going to make money in this business because, they know that they're good rappers and stuff like that. Apparently, Bunk was a rapper back in the day, and he was like, he wants to be able to make money. And so he wanted to invite Paperboy to this meeting where you meet up with these different people to show how you make money. First, Paperboy wasn't interested, but then he went. Child, they went to this place. Let me see. Got my notes, child. He goes to the meeting, and it's YMR meeting. It's it's a little scheme thing of what they've come up with. And this is what they've come up with. In order for this little small group to make a whole bunch of money, what they have decided is that they're going to get YMRs and have them out there perform. So basically, they're going to have avatars, is what he kind of called it. I think it's YMR or YMA, young white male avatars or white male rappers. I can't remember which it was. But basically, what they're going to do is they're going to be the writing team behind it. And they're going to promote these white boys up here in the rap so they can make more money, because they're saying that, mainstream is white. So therefore, if we appeal to them with their people, we can make more money. First, Paperboy wasn't with it, but I guess after he thought about it, he went back to try to get Benny so that he can start working with Benny. And what happened was, I think it seems like there was a time jump of maybe a few days or a couple of weeks or whatever. When he caught up with Benny, come to find out, Bunk done already signed him to be his manager. And so the only person that was left was Yodel Kid. So Paperboy decided to get with Yodel Kid and work with Yodel Kid. And over an 8-week period or whatever, Yodel Kid's album has gone double platinum, and he is Grammy nominated. So they end up at the Grammys, and we see Bunk, we see Benny, we see the guy who was the telemarketer of the whole scheme, and we see Paperboy, and they're all at the Grammys. I think all of their artists have been nominated, and they didn't think that they thought Paperboy was being nominated on his own. And so they asked him, they said, well, what are you being nominated for? He said, well, I'm not. The guy that I manage, Yodel Kid, is the one that's going to be winning the Grammy. Ends up, Yodel Kid is not there, doesn't show up. Paperboy asks Benny, where is he at? And he's like, dude, he's dead. He OD'd this morning. So, that just throws Paperboy off, and he ends up leaving. Leave the Grammy, and Yodel Kid's, I guess, baby mama with the baby strapped to her stomach goes up, and she accepts the Grammy. We see Earn has gotten that job at that management company, and in the what's happening is that one of their the people that they're managers is in some Karen trouble. Child, she done pulled a gun out on the little boy who was coming up to sell her some chocolates. She done pulled a gun on the boy and then did a search on him. And so now they're having some bad publicity because apparently she's a writer and she's having some bad book sales. And so they're trying to figure out how to turn her situation around. Almost like a Olivia Pope crisis team, but for entertainers. Earn is just bored. He's already looking at it. He's like, I don't want to participate in that. And then he also looks bored. So he starts saying, can we manage other artists? And the owner of the managerial company is like, no, she's our top priority. We need to get all our heads behind this. And he said, well, what about new artists? And he was like, if you can go get D'Angelo, then go ahead. So that's where Earn goes and takes off. Now it goes into this surreal type thing again with Earn, and I'm thinking that his art is always going to be this surreal type stuff going on. So he goes, he texts his friend who knew D'Angelo's hair braider, and to get a lead on D'Angelo, he goes and he's in this warehouse, and it's bare. It's almost like I hate to say it like this, but you know how like when people kidnap you and they put you in this corner with a pallet and a thing, that's what it looks like. So Earn gets there, and there's this man sitting there reading comics or whatever. He's sitting there, and apparently Earn has been there 3 or 4 days, and then he starts asking the guy, when do I see D'Angelo? And the guy he doesn't say anything to him. So then Earn takes his magazines, whatever he was reading, and he asked him for some water. And then when he wanted some water, the man opened this closet. Anyway, he opened his cabinet, And on the bottom was like some Dasani water or something like that. And Ern was like really upset. He was like, "Man, I've been here 3 or 4 days, and what is going on? Why can't I see D'Angelo?" And I don't know what made him say, "Who is D'Angelo? What is D'Angelo? Where is D'Angelo?" All this little essential thing. And the guy ends up going to the wall and putting a key into the wall and opening it up. And it looks like, you know how when you go to the coroner's office, it looks like that little tray that they put the dead people in. Well, Ern crawls in there. He ends up crawling, and there's a whole nother room. And you've noticed over this episode, Ern is always going into the dark and coming back out of the light. It's almost like he's being reborn. He goes in one way, he comes out thinking another way. I don't know, but I believe that sounds like maturity to me. I don't know exactly what that is. But anyway, this is what happens. He goes and comes out. And then there's a man sitting there. And the guy is sitting there singing. He sounds really good. I don't know who he was, but it wasn't D'Angelo. It didn't look like D'Angelo to me, unless D'Angelo has had a change, an extreme change in his looks. It didn't look like D'Angelo to me, but it may have been. I don't know. I still have that image of D'Angelo with the little tight little stump. Anyway, child, I know we all get older and maybe a little bit fluffier. We don't always look the same that we did in our 20s and 30s. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He starts talking to the guy, and basically the guy was just basically saying that he baptized him or whatever with peanut butter on his head, about being I can't think of what he called him. What did he call him? Okay. I can't remember what he called him. But he, he smeared some peanut butter on his head and said to go out and to spread the word about D'Angelo. And so Ern never did see D'Angelo, but apparently there was supposed to be some lesson or something learned in there. All right. So that was basically the episode. So here's what I think very, very quickly of what I saw. With Paperboy's story, and I've talked about it before, that Paperboy is very concerned about his legacy and how he's going to do what he wants to do, right? And so I see that's probably happening with probably rappers out here. But I can just tell you, just from looking at that story, one of the things that we have seen probably in the last 15 years in the rap game is that they talk themselves out of a legacy. And what I mean by that, I remember it may have been 15 years ago now, probably about 15 years ago. You started hearing the guys that came out. Now, when rap first started, you had young men in the rap game that were like in their mid 20s, maybe early 30s, because they had been in that game so long. So they were in their mid 20s, early 30s. Probably around when LL Cool J and that kind of crew started coming in, because LL Cool J came out when like it was 16. All of a sudden, you started to see an influx of rappers being much younger. So it was always somebody who was between 16 and 25. And as the years went on, one of the themes and the things that they would talk about is that rap is a young man's game. When rap really, when it started in hip hop, you had all ages. All of a sudden, someone decided that you could, if you were a rapper past 25, you were old man and you were past your prime. Never knew who thought of that, but it was very incessant in the community. And even so much so, you had a lot of instances, and still to this day, that a lot of rappers were dying before they got to certain ages, they were dying before they got to 30. It was a miracle if you are a rapper right now and you are 30. But one of the things that happens is the younger that you are, because earlier on, hip hop had a component of social justice. And what I see what's happened is that in order to get rid of that component, because the older you get, the more that you are aware of your surroundings and how you want your life to be. And if you keep rap young and primal, and then this is what you're going to get. So you're going to get the rap boys now who are talking, who everything is about death and destruction and money, and looking like you have money, and clout and all of this other stuff. And it's all about chaos and destruction, to the point where if you have a community just sitting around talking about death and destruction and chaos, you're going to start seeing a lot of that. But what people don't pay attention to is what's going on behind the scenes. Probably in the past 5 or 10 years, and one of the things that in all of this is the one thing about hip hop that bothers me, and this is a black male thing. You will wear out your culture. And what I mean by that is you're so busy wanting this mainstream or white people to accept this thing, what you're doing, that you will literally hand it to them on a platter. Show them what it is, show them the mechanics and how it works and stuff like that. Then you will find a white artist and you would boost that white artist as if it's almost like you're trying to do it like a minstrel show, but you'll boost this white artist. This white artist then will get the mainstream attention. And then this mainstream attention with this guy gets, he starts to win awards and do all this other stuff. And then you turn around and you get pissed off because, oh, they're taking over our stuff. No, you gave it to them. You gave it to them. And so this is what I saw when they had their little telemarketing scheme back there with those 5 or 10 or 15 black male rappers. They're trying to stay rich. A small few of them are trying to hold on and thinking that they're going to be the controllers of the culture and of the stuff, and they end up giving it to somebody, because what's going to happen is y'all are going to be in there, y'all are in it to make a little money. What those young artists are going to do is that they're going to take it, they're going to transform it, and then they're going to shut you out. And that's one of the things that I got from watching that little bit. Like, yeah, we're getting to the point, and we see that to the point where y'all are giving the culture away, and then getting mad when the culture, when someone else is doing what you have invented, and then they're kind of shutting you out of the whole deal. And you can see that with black women rappers. I mean, if you are a someone who has lyrical skills and all those things, you are pushed down to the bottom, and the people that are pushed up towards the top are the mediocre people, because like the city girls, and they're mostly like getting to the bag and all this other stuff. So you push them up, and that's basically what they're talking about. And everything is hypersexual and all this other stuff. So when you see the city girls and Big Lotto, even Doja Cat, and who else is out here, Glorilla, and all of these people that are out here, that's part of what that is that when you're in there, you have to be this sexy. But watch and see, they're gonna have this conscious rapping white girl, and then all of y'all are going to be pushed out of the community. I'm just telling you. That was what was slinkling through my head when I saw that. With Earn, the only thing that I could gather was, if there's a deeper meaning with it, was the fact that there are people out here that enjoy music. So there are people in my age group and everything. See, we enjoy our Maxwells and our D'Angelos and all this other stuff, right? We enjoy that. But there's a time period that we want to encapsulate that artist in that same thing that they done 20, 30 years ago. Because, we'll go to a festival quick to hear Maxwell sing his first 2 or 3 albums. But then when Maxwell gets to be a little bit more mature, and we're talking about longevity, we don't hardly ever listen to that music like that. We want them encapsulated like that man was in that room we want them encapsulated in this certain time frame, and we're just refusing to let our artists grow. But when you look at other artists, other community artists, they can have take country music for instance. You can have an artist, and that artist can have 10, 8, 9, 10 albums, have a good longevity, because their fan base enjoys the artist and wants to hear the music that the artist does, and so they will buy and purchase all those little different albums and things like that. So are they big on the charts? I don't know. I'm not a country music thing, but I do know that their fan base allows for them to grow. And that's what it seemed like to me. Is like we have all these great artists, but we don't allow our fan bases to grow, or we don't support them beyond a certain point. So y'all get down in the comments, because that's what I got. It may or may not be correct, but that's what I came up with when I watched this. Born to Die is that we can create and we can grow and we can do things, but we have. I just think it's early death as far as our music genres are concerned. We're seeing probably, we saw in my lifetime, I saw that happen with jazz, how jazz was on top, and then all of a sudden by the 70s you didn't hear of great jazz artists. It was almost not underground, but that was something that they did in Vegas. And then also in my lifetime, I've seen the rise of R&B, and then the leveling off of R&B, and then R&B being overtaken by hip hop. And so now you can't, there's such a blur that romantic R&B music that you used to hear back in the early 2000s is replaced by all the ways that I'm going to sex you down. I don't know. Anyway, what did y'all think? Did y'all watch the episode? I know I'm a little bit behind on my recap. Forgive me. Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm on a quest for 500. So please subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your kin, tell your co-workers, tell that person that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. Help me help you to see me. And as always, let me find what I got to do here. And as always, people, bye-bye.